Hey, good evening, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you all can hear me. Hear me? Please say something. Let me know. I got a different setup tonight, so I hope you're on with me. I pray all is well. I hope you're living life the way you're supposed to its fullest. My name is Ricardo Arce. Welcome tonight to another installment of LOVEWORKS. Tonight, we are jumping into a topic that is very needed for the singles. If you're single, if you understand the pretty much I'll say the importance of making sure that you're ready when you're about to make a major commitment, and that's marriage. All of us have to prepare for that if we decide to be with someone. You can't be living up with somebody thinking that you're going to be blessed. You can't be pretty much thinking that if I live, up for the lack of better words, old school, shacking up with somebody, that God is going to bless the particular reunion. Well, the fact of the matter is that you want to make sure you're doing all that you can to prepare for marriage. If your desire is to be married, there are steps, there's some things you've got to do. Am I ready for marriage? TikTok, welcome. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all the channels. God bless you, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. My name is Ricardo Arce. This is LOVEWORKS. And with this topic tonight, it is challenging to some, to really get real about themselves. Are they ready for marriage? And if you're married, maybe you're trying to figure out, is it for you and how to fix it? My word to you is don't get out of it. How do you fix it? How do you bring two people together in such a way where, you come from two different backgrounds, craziness, whatever that looks like, but you came together for a reason if you're married. If you want to be married, you have to ask yourself some questions tonight. And I plan to dive into it. So do me a favor. If you're on with me, do me a favor and share this particular post. If you don't mind, share it with somebody on your channel. I would love to get the feedback from people. Welcome, TikTok. I see you. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in. Yep. YouTube, I see you. All right. So I want to dive into this and let's go. But the thing I want to touch on, one thing really quick, Facts about marriage. Facts about marriage. To give you my background, I've been married now 26 years to one woman. I don't have a side chick, never had one, don't plan to have one. I've been with one woman all of my life for the last 26 years. The only other woman I was in love with prior to her was my mama. And, marriage is what you make it, is work. Marriage is work. Make no doubt about it, is work. You put into it what you're going to get out. Whatever you put into it, you're going to get out of it. It's as simple as that. So it has to be a conscious decision. It has to be pretty much um, a place in life where you push that is in the forefront. You don't allow yourself to get caught up in, somebody's emotions that day. You can't do that. That's so important, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get caught up in the emotion. They're going through this for 2 months and you think that's the whole marriage. No, it doesn't work that way. We put up with each other. She puts up with me. I put up with her. Whatever that looks like. Ladies, talk to me. Sometimes folks can be difficult. Folks can be difficult. I'm not saying that she is, but your species, yes, ma'am, that woman is complicated. And we try to understand who you are, what you're about, and how to fix it. That's a man's job. We try to fix it. So tonight, as we dive into I know you think this is about singles, but believe it or not, if you're married, you can pick some stuff up. You can pick some stuff up. So thank you, TikTok, for joining me. God bless you to all of you. Come on, continue to hit that like button that gets the algorithm up. And for you to Facebook and all the other channels who have that love button, please hit it. Hit that like button. It's important for this channel as it grows. All right. So as we dive into this, the facts about marriage. Number one, one of the key things I tell people, you seek, listen, to serve more than being served. That's a big one for a lot of people. They miss out on many, many joyous occasions. I love to serve. I enjoy serving. Does it get frustrating at times? Yeah, because at times you feel unappreciated. And when you feel unappreciated, you will not do more. I'll give you a good example of this. It's a funny story, and this is how it works. Before I got married, I was dating my wife, and I decided to make I got some cheesecake. So I took her to her spot, and her and her sister lived together. So I went into the room, and I set up flowers on the floor, and rose petals and so forth. I had the cheesecake, that I spent my hard earned money on it. It was this big. It was this big. Little cheesecake, that big, ladies and gentlemen, that big right there. Yeah. So I put it on the floor and I put candles on it, and I call her up on my little cell. This is when you had the flip phone. Remember that? Boom. I'm like, hey, where you at? I'm with my girlfriends right now. Okay, what time are you coming on? Because I didn't want her to really know what was going on. So she goes, and she didn't tell me what time she was coming. So I'm thinking she's coming. I said, okay, listen, I'm gonna meet you at your apartment. She says, okay, I'll be there. So time goes on. The candles are melting, melting, melting. My cheesecake started melting. It started melting, ladies and gentlemen. And she pretty much never showed up. No, she showed up after I left. So what happens was I'm walking down the street because I didn't have a car. I was broke. I didn't have a car. I'm walking down the street to my apartment, my studio, hole in the wall apartment with melted cheesecake. And that right there scarred me. It scarred me. So I stopped doing other stuff, for a minute, even after we're married. She says, how come we do this? I said, you know what? This is what happened. And I had to learn that, that was just an incident. That wasn't her personality. So what transpired, of course she had made her excuse or whatever. My point with it all is that I had to learn how to serve again in that manner, loving her, taking care of her. Pretty much when as you have something so delicate, you want to make sure you're doing all that you can to take care of it. You speak life over it. Yeah. So going back to serve and being served, pretty much wanting to serve more than you want to be served. That is hard to really get people to understand in marriage, because many people think that that's the norm, that you're supposed to serve. He does everything. I've seen that with women where he does everything and she does absolutely nothing. That's not how that works. You have your role and he has his role. And everyone says, amen. All right, let me move. So marriage, listen, no longer determines your identity. Because many times when people think that you have pretty much this big identity in marriage, you have separate identities. But the word lets us know the two shall become one. The two shall become one. There are times when my wife can be in a room, I can think something and she knows immediately because she has taken on my identity. And we know each other. We bounce things off each other, even without talking to each other. We'll be playing, let's say, a couples game, and she'll read my mind because I know the favorite color. I know this or I know that. I say all of that because the identity, we know each other. But keep in mind, you lose your identity once you get married. It's about you, listen, and her becoming one. It's about him and you. It's about her and him becoming one. The two should become one. Your identity is in each other. That's why pretty much I said that when I'm identified as her husband or she's identified as my wife. That's how that works. All right, let me move. All right, let's get to it. Am I ready for marriage? This is a big question. Are you ready for marriage? Is this something you want out of your marriage? What do you want? Are you ready for it, though? The question is, are you ready? Because everyone wants to date. Everyone wants pretty much, and I've noticed in this generation that they really don't want to commit. They get into a situation, and that situation can go on for years. And you ask, oh, hey, is that your girlfriend? You know, they don't have an answer. Ladies, talk to me. You know, you've been in that situation where you've been dating this dude for a minute, and they ask, is that your girlfriend? They don't know what to say. Or maybe you pretty much are the one where you don't claim him. Here's a short tale. Ladies, brothers, listen. And this is while you're dating. Stay with me. There are times when, as you're dating someone, where they don't post any pictures of you on their profile. I've noticed this about this generation. You don't post any pictures. Not until they post or you post pictures. That's how you know you with somebody. They're claiming you, in other words. It's sad because people don't want to get, and I'll say this is why. You're not ready to get married because you have too many options and you're not ready to commit. That's just not even on this list, but that's important to understand. You're not ready to be married because you have so many options and you're not ready to commit. That's a big one. That's not on my list, but I just want to give you a one here. Let's move. So, number one, am I ready to get married or am I ready for marriage? You know why you want to get married. The question you have to ask yourself, why do you want to get married? Why? What's the point of you being married? What is the point of it? If you want to be married because you pretty much want sex, you about to just go and sit down somewhere. That's not why you get married. There are people who get married for that, and they find out that the sex is trash. I'm gonna leave that alone. Let's move, not go there. But real talk, the fact of the matter is that many people, they get married for the wrong reasons. Some people get married for security. Some other people get married because they're lonely. Other people get married because of the person has a lot of money. He's a sugar daddy, you a sugar mama, whatever that looks like. And you feel that they're financially secure to take care of you, and that's why you get married. But you're not in love with the person, and that's a major one. So you have to ask yourself, why do you want to get married? Why? You got to know why you don't want to get married. You got to know what's the point of it. Don't fool yourself. If you want to pretty much get married for the wrong reasons, don't fool yourself because you're going to find yourself in divorce court. Now, if that's your game, you got hell to pay. And I'm serious because you're playing with somebody's life. You're playing with somebody's sanity. You're playing with somebody's money and so forth. So for those who pretty much are going after the bag, that's sad. You're not ready to get married. Yeah. You need to go fix your life before you do that. Real talk. Yeah. Go fix your life. Don't sit there and tell me pretty much you want to get married because, he has it or whatever, or she has it. You're a bum if she pretty much is pretty much has the money and you're not doing anything. You're a bum. You're not ready for marriage. Young lady, there are many words for you if you're pretty much going after the bag. And you need to rethink why you want to get married. We'll talk. All right. I know that's rough, but that's the truth. Welcome to LOVEWORKS. My name is Carter Arce. Thank you. Let's move. Number 2, you're planning. Listen, this is how you know you get ready to get married. You're planning a marriage, not a wedding. This is the big one. This is a big one. You're planning a marriage, not a wedding. In other words, both of you sit down and you start organizing, start talking about your marriage. What do you want to see? Do you want kids in 5 years? How are you going to help him to get promoted or help her to get promoted? Are you both going to work? Or is she going to be a stay-at-home mom because she's the only one who can carry the babies? Or maybe you have some pretty much modern day marriage that you want where he stays home and you go to work. Not knocking it. It's just what it is. However, you both have to sit down and talk about it. Figure out in your life what you want your marriage to look like. Vitally important. Vitally important. Okay? So go back and sit down with that person that you want to pretty much get with, marry, and find out what's the plan. All right. So think about the marriage because the marriage begins right after the wedding, and you could spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've seen it, literally. Know a couple. They spent the father paying for the wedding. The father spent, listen, $250,000 just on the bridal party, on the bridal, ladies, pretty much y'all get away and do your, pretty much the bachelorette party. That's what it was. Just the bachelorette party. $250,000. He had it like that. Came down to the wedding, $5 million. Ma'am, ask me if they're still married. They're not. There you go. Don't do it. You got to plan marriage after the wedding. Let's move. Number 3. Listen, you lived on your own, or you lived on your you've lived your own life. That's what I mean. You lived your own life. What that means is that you have matured. You're not jumping out of your mom and dad's house to jump into his house or even her house. You need to pretty much learn to live. You got to learn to be single by yourself. My advice, and it may be hard because of the economic times, I'm with you. Learn to live by yourself before you decide to get with anybody. Learn to live by yourself. Go listen. Maybe you may need a roommate or two. I don't know. But away from your parents, away from those pretty much your parents taking care of you, you must live on your own because you have to learn how to work out things on your own and not rely on your parents to pay for you. Yeah, it's a major one. When I talk to people, particularly the generation millennials and so forth, they want to get married. You got to get out your parents' house because you won't know how to really function and mature as a person if you don't do this. So, yeah, live on your own. Learn how to get out on your own. Have your own money, your own bank account. Nobody's paying your phone bill. Nobody's paying your light bill. None of that. None of that. You're pretty much learning how to function on your own because that way, as a man or even as a woman, you're taking responsibility and you develop maturity. Yeah. You learn because what happens when you rely on your people. So let me explain this. There's nothing wrong if you get in a jam and going to your parents or whoever to bail you out. Nothing wrong with that. But when that's your habit, when that's your go-to, you are not ready for marriage. Because as soon as you have a fight, you're gonna leave and go home. Because that's your pretty much your parachute. Yeah, it's your parachute. I'm going to my mama's. All right, well, cool. And then he does that. And if he's a mama's boy, father, help me right here with the mama's boy thing, you're gonna have a lot of trouble. I know people. I'm gonna try to tread lightly because there are some marriages I know that were ruined by the mother-in-law. by the mama because she was so attached to her boys that the boys could not live their lives, and the boy was so caught up and conflicted in his spirit on who comes first and who doesn't. Your mother is your mama, but your wife is your wife. She comes first. I'm gonna say this again. I know this is rough, but you don't know my mama. I don't care about your mama. I'm gonna be honest with you. Your mother comes second when you're married, sir. Número dos. If you don't understand that, please hit that love button. Don't leave me out here by myself. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you're on with me, please say something. Say amen. You're wrong. I hate you. I don't care what you say, but you know I'm speaking the truth. Your wife is number one. Wife. Number two, your mother-in-law or your mother rather comes second, both on either side. When you make decisions with you and your wife. Yep. You make those decisions with you and your wife, not the whole family. I'm trying to help you. Being Latino, I'm telling you how it goes. Everybody's in your business. Yep. They're all in your business. They're not willing to help. They're going to talk about you. And man, that's the worst thing you can be a part of. So my word to you on that note, learn to live on your own, live your own life, have an identity before you get married. You want to bring something into the marriage. So just FYI. I hope you're learning something. Tony, okay, go ahead, Tony. Let's see. I always laugh at the question because the answer should be, yeah, it should be no. You ain't ready. Tiffany Haddish voice. Right. You better, right. You better know, yeah, you better have a relationship with Jesus, period. Both of you. Both of you. Why it says numero uno. Yes, right. Number one. Telling you from experience. Yeah, you don't want anybody ruining messing up your marriage, going into getting into your business like that. All right. So let me move so we can move on to this next spot. All right. Number four, your relationship is deep. Your relationship is not shallow. In other words, that's how you know you're ready to get married. It's not shallow. It's not surface. You need to talk about the issues that you guys go through. Do you know the person that you're connected with, your partner? Do you know them? That doesn't mean that you have to know everything about them. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying, though, you pretty much want to make sure you have those deep conversations that you know is important to the marriage. To the marriage. There's some deep conversations you have to have. Yeah, that you don't want to take lightly. I'm Latino and I approve this message. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. It's the truth, Mima. You know it's the truth. Thank you, TikTok, for that. That's funny. Yeah, it's the truth, man. So again, when it comes down to your relationship, you want to make sure you have some deep connection with the person, not surface. Let me explain. For the six, you're ready to marry after 3 months. You're not ready to marry. You don't know the person. You have not experienced the person. What you have is infatuation. You have pretty much the oxytocin going through and all those chemicals going through your body, and you hot for him and he's hot for you. You can't wait to get your hands on him and her. Yes, and I'm talking to Christian folks who are saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. Yeah, you can't wait to see him. Oh my God, your heart pity pats when you see him. Oh my God, you just don't know, Pastor Rick. He's my ooh and ah. You just don't know. I do know. After 9 months, come talk to me. Come talk to me when you had those deep conversations after 9 months. Yeah, it's not cute anymore that he pretty much doesn't open the door for you, or rather pretty much doesn't, what's a good one? Okay, that he doesn't clean up after himself. Yeah, that it's not cute anymore that he calls you up late at night when you know he's not supposed to call you. Yeah, it's not cute anymore. It's not. TikTok, give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm losing power, and I don't know why. I need a second. Be back. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that. I have to make sure you guys stay on with me. Cool. TikTok, you there? All right. So let's move forward. So what goes on is that as you have these deep conversations with your spouse or the person you're about to marry, you find out what they've been through, why they're going through it. And it's important as a man and woman of God that you know pretty much all the stuff that they've been through and why they're going through it. All right. So let's move to the next one. Number 5, you know and trust your partner. Do you trust the person? We talked about this last night. Do you trust the person? Do you trust them? And that's vitally important. Do you trust them? Because if you don't, that's going to be a major issue for you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get it together, TikTok. TikTok, I'm going to come back on in 1 second. Sorry for the confusion, guys. I just want to make sure the my audience is on with me. So, all right, cool. Okay, I think we're good. Hey, all right. So again, when it comes down to your partner, trusting your partner, if you don't trust your partner, you're going to lose out on a lot because that's the basics. Those are the basics to your to the foundation to any relationship is trust, as we talked about. You got to trust the person, and that's vitally important. Trust the person. So TikTok, I'm just talking about trust is number 5. So you know you trust the person. As we talked about last night, we went through a whole list of how to trust, how to build back trust. You know, can you trust again? You should be able to trust again. And I pray that you do because it's without trust, you cannot have a successful relationship, ladies and gentlemen. There's some things that you can trust your spouse with or your partner with, rather, before you get married. And if you find out you can't trust them before you get married, why are you with them? Real talk. Let's look at some critical things. Okay, can you trust them? Pretty much, if you have kids, if you bring in kids, can you trust them with your kids? Can you trust her with your kids? Are they going to treat your kids like they treat their own? Vice versa. It's a trust factor. Money. If your money's going to be a major issue, you want to go ahead and just listen. You might as well just pretty much be broke by yourself. Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that. My word to you is one is better with money versus the other. Let that person handle the money. For myself, pretty much, I don't carry cash because I'll find a way to give it away. Folks come up to you and just as a minister, there are times that pretty much people will come up to you and ask you for money, and I try to give it to them, and I'm told by somebody in my house not to give it to them, but times I do. So I stop carrying cash. She's better pretty much handling our household bills and so forth and taking it. I'm better with pretty much investing. So you have to have that balance. Trust factor. What's the trust factor? Trust is the deal breaker. I'm gonna say that again. Trust needs to be the deal breaker. Has to be the deal breaker. That's important to understand because if you do not trust a person, if you cannot trust a person with your money or let it be infidelity, if you know they have a past of cheating, if you know this is the pattern, this is what they do, why are you with them? Don't waste your time. Listen, I've seen it. You don't want a lifetime of that foolishness. You know why I love him? No, you, ma'am, don't be silly. I believe you love him, but you don't know the consequences behind the heartache. And I know people who are together still, and because they married Mr. Can't Get Right. Yep. So Trust your partner. Number 5. That's number 6. All right, number 6. You don't want, listen, to change your partner. You can't exchange it for anybody else. You just cannot. There's something about you just no. You try dating around, but that's the one. That's the one. That's the one. The Lord has spoken to you about the person, and you want to be with the person. You want to pretty much. It's something. It's something. The attraction is there, not just physical, spiritual. Where they just get you. They just get you. It's that type of. I'll say that feeling, for the lack of better words, where, you know, it's a thought that you may have about them. And it's always just wonderful. And I'm not talking about the 9-month period, 6-month period. I'm talking about just continuous, like, man, I miss that person. That person makes me laugh. That person pretty much is knows how to carry a conversation. They mature me. They love me. Pretty much it's a Jill Scott song. Talk to me. Yeah. What's that? He loves me. I'm not going to sing it because I don't want to mess up my numbers here. Y'all start logging off. I'll be embarrassed, and I don't want that I don't want that happening. Anyway, number 7, you resolve conflicts together. You don't run from it. You don't run from your conflicts. You don't sit there and say, hey, whatever, and just run away from it. I'm gonna be transparent here. There are times when some things that a man, as you try to fix, you can't fix. I don't care how many tools you think you have, how much wisdom you have, there's some things you cannot fix. And it doesn't mean that it's a problem from that person. It just means life will happen. It could be health, right? It could be not being able to have children, which was one of my biggest hurts that we went into. And what happens is with that, it was the elephant in the room for both of us. We knew it was there, but we never really talked about it until we just talked about it. And we boohooed, we cried together. We just prayed together. We asked God to just help us, because we didn't know what to do about it. Now, I bring this up because what do you do when you can't fix it? You still have to resolve that conflict. You still have to come to the realization that some things going to happen. We could have adopted, we could have done different things, but at the moment in our mind, in our heads, we just something we didn't want to do. If that makes sense. So my point with it is that you got to learn to resolve conflicts in your life, in relationship with people. With that person that you say you love, that you want to marry, that you want to spend the rest of your life with them, you want to resolve the conflict. All right, let's move. I'm almost done here. Number 8, you make long-term plans together. Buying a house, having kids, and I talked about a little bit earlier, where you're going to live. Is mama going to live with you? What happens when she gets older, or pawpaw, is he going to live with you? It's a lot of different things that you have to discuss long term, because if you don't discuss it, ladies and gentlemen, it can become very daunting. Yeah. So someone said, I'm gonna read this real quick. Please do a background check. Ask questions about the family history. That's right. That's exactly what I tell them, Tony. Yep. You want a heads up? Yeah. About generational curses? Yeah. Coming your way. You do. And I say this, the long-term plans, and as you start, and I know it's pretty much not a part of this particular thought here, but the truth of the matter is, yeah, you want to see what kind of credit they have. Yeah. And let's just dwell on this for a second. That's good, Tony. Thank you. What kind of credit they have? Do they have a criminal history? Are they running from the law? You say, Rick, that's crazy. No. Let's just get real. Because we're on the internet, because you may not know the person, anybody can be anybody at any time. Yeah. Pretty much the show with the catfish, it. And somebody can string you along. This is when I talk to my singles, I tell them, make sure you get past the profile. And then you're going to, what happens is you see the profile. The profile itself may be 5 years old. They have gained weight, lost hair, missing tooth, whatever. So they go from, follow me, you go from the profile that looked good from 5 years ago, and then you meet them in person. Now you're looking at the representative, but you've gotten so used to talking to them online, interacting with them online. And now, pretty much, as you're interacting with them, you think that you're meeting, listen, the person online. No, you're not meeting them. Now you meet the representative. So you give them a little, oh, okay, they gained a little weight. Okay, maybe, they're not as accomplished as they said they were, and so forth. Oh, he's not a rapper. He says, he's just trying to still make it at 35. I don't get that. My point with it is that you meet the profile, then you meet the representative 6 months later, and you have to deal with that. By the time you get to the person you're really with, it's like 9, 10 months down the line. But you already pretty much have given yourself over to her or him, and now it becomes a problem. And what you should have done, number one, did your homework and not pretty much give yourself away so soon. When I talk about Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart with all diligence, for it's the springboard to life's issues, you have to learn to guard it. Get all the facts before you make a conscious decision about going on with this person. And I mean that sincerely, because we're in a different age. Before, back in the day, that person knew this person. They had a good reputation. The family knew him. Dad knew the family, and the family will hook up, make sure that they hook up together. And you and that boy will hook up together, and y'all pretty much continue the family legacy, all that stuff. No, not today. Not today. Anybody can be anything at any time. And you want to make sure you're doing your homework. So thank you for that, Tony. Absolutely. You want to see what generational curses they have. Do they have the potential to pretty much do crack? You're laughing, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Thank you, brother. Love you too, man. Yeah, it's the truth. So, now it's a totally different day and age. Do your homework. Do they say who they are? If they're getting mad that you're investigating them, go. Just go move on. Because again, trust is earned. I expect you to do that. Check me out. Yeah, go look at my resume. Go check my references. My boys. Is he who you say he is? Yeah. And that takes time. So my word, just pump your brakes and do what you have to do. So again, that was number 8. Going back to making long-term plans with that person you're getting with. All right. Making sure you make those long-term plans. Let's move. Number 9, your family and friends like your partner. Father, right here. There's a reason why they don't like him. There's a reason why they don't like her. Follow me. You trusted your parents, your mom, your dad, whoever, your guardian for many years. But as soon as they disapprove of somebody you bring to the door, you no longer listen to them like they don't know what they're talking about. Think about it. You might want to consider listening to them and say A, B, and C. So my word to you is make sure that who you're bouncing him off or her off of understands you, that they get you, because then you can trust the person's pretty much analysis of the person you're bringing in. It could be something they pick up, particularly to you, saved folk who know the Lord. You know how it works to sit there, that you bring them to church, and it's like your pastor look like, Pastor, this is something. Let me tell you something. I got some stories for you. I'm gonna give you one, and it's funny. One of my prized pupils in my ministry, love her to death, and she knows she knows I love her. And she decides to bring her boyfriend to church. Now, because I'm close to some young folk and so forth, that they know me as almost like a spiritual father, I'm going to be, more critical of who they bring around. That's just a natural thing. But this year, ladies and gentlemen, she brought this boy to church, and Lord is my witness. I'm about to get up and go to service, to start service. I look across and I see this guy sitting down, and I thought he was homeless because he looked homeless. He looked raggedy. He looked like he hadn't been eaten or taken a bath in a couple of days. I go up to him. I say, "Hey, young man, how you doing?" He's like, "Oh, man, I want to welcome you to my ministry and so forth. Come on in, come on in." I want to, bring him up front or just make him feel comfortable. You need something to eat, whatever. And then the young lady rushes over to me and says, "Hey, Pastor Rick, hey, I just want to introduce you to my boyfriend." I was like, I just looked at her and I'm like, oh, so I had to put that fake smile on, and I'm smiling at her like, "Oh man, what's your name?" Okay, okay. Well, nice to meet you. Went, and I promise you, even through my sermon, I'm just thinking like, what does this girl have done? You don't want to be that young lady where you bring people around that nobody approves of. And listen, ma'am, stop dating below your value. Stop it. Please, I'm begging you. I don't know if it's a self-esteem issue. I don't know what it is. But it breaks my heart when I see potentially wonderful young ladies who want to marry, and they get a bozo. They bring a bobo, and you think that's the best you can do right there, and it breaks my heart to see it. And that's a whole nother discussion. We're gonna get into one night. We're gonna get into prospect versus suspect. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have everybody, some people on camera. We're gonna have some fun. I promise you. But it's understanding your value. You have had men all over the internet devaluing black women. One just died. I'm not saying I didn't agree with everything he said, but he just died. Yeah, not because people disagreed. My brother had some health issues. My point with it is that as a woman of God, you don't want to ever devalue yourself. Because let me tell you something. For me personally, I was going to marry up. There ain't no doubt about it. Oh no, ma'am. I was going to marry up. Yeah, yeah. I married. Listen, let me brag a little bit. She's educated, cute. Oh, she's a cutie. Yes, she is. Oh, but back in the day, yeah, shot double. Don't get me started. Yeah, she was Miss Freshman. Don't play with me. Yeah. So I knew what I was getting. I went after her, and she knew I was relentless. I was beating dudes off of her. Boop, bop, beat. This mine. Yeah. I say that facetiously, but I knew how to marry up. I didn't want to marry down. And the same for my ladies, my daughters. Don't sit there and marry down. Marry up. And the women of God say, man, you should hit that like button. You start like dance on that like button because you married up. In fact, do me a favor, just for silliness, type "I'm marrying up." Type that. I am marrying up. Type that for me, please. Just humor me tonight. Yeah, we're not doing this. Yeah, not doing this. Number 10. Number 10. Let's go. We got to rock. So I'm almost done. All right, number 10. You can't imagine your life without your partner. Can you imagine your life being without them? Can you really say, I can do better or I can move on? Can you? You just can't imagine yourself. It's like, this person's a part of my life. This person that I cannot not have them in my life. And you'll do all that you can to make sure, not so much desperately go after them. That's not what I mean. And just for the men too, but you just know you connect, and you just know that this person completes me in a sense for marriage. Remember, the two should become one. The two should become one. Adam, when he saw Eve, he said, flesh my flesh, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. He was in awe of her. Yeah, he was in awe of her. And keep in mind, even through them falling, messing up, they still stayed together throughout the word. They stayed together for many, many years, literally hundreds of years, if you believe the Bible. I'm just giving you understanding. But yeah. Can you not see yourself without? That's important. That's very important. I'm going to give you this last one. I'll be done. Number 11, you have learned to love yourself. This is how you know you're ready to get married. Let me tell you how you know you're ready to get married. Because you learn to love yourself. You got to learn to love yourself. Scripture lets us know, you hear me constantly quote this. Love the Lord with all your heart, mind, and soul. Second unto it, love thy neighbor as thyself. The key point, before you can love a neighbor, you have to love yourself by loving the Lord. So if you don't love the Lord, it's impossible to love him or her. But you got to love yourself. You got to love yourself, man. Young man, young lady, you have to love yourself. And this is intuitive in order to grow in God. Love yourself. Please understand. Love yourself. Because you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble because you're always going to seek. When you don't love yourself, you're always going to seek attention. You're always going to seek pretty much, you're never going to be happy. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Someone said, I'm married up. That's right, Romaine. That's amen. By the way, my brother Romaine is single. I'm just letting you know. Man, educated man, wonderful job. He's in the military right now. So ladies, my boy is Jamaican descent. I'm just giving you some understanding. So yeah. Thank you. Number 10 is really good. Thank you so much. Facebook user, whoever you are. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, it's important that you love yourself. Learn to do that. If someone says, I'm their wife, listen, he may speak to her. God will speak to them. Don't get me wrong. This is a question on TikTok. They have this question really quick. If someone says, I am their wife, but God, listen, gives you a vision to me as well. Okay, about the person, that's what you're saying? Pretty much. So if they pretty much get the vision that, hey, you're my wife, and God confirms it in your spirit, is what you're saying, confirm that for me. That's God telling you that. And thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. So I want to make sure I got the question right. Okay, got it. So yeah, the Lord spoke to this man, and then he spoke to you in a vision. All right. My word to you is this. If it's God, don't rush it. Because if it's God, it's going to work. Don't rush. And this is good for everybody to understand. You're going to have folks coming up to you saying, look, God told me, gave you this vision. I saw, your name in the clouds, or I heard a voice, and, God told me you're going to be my wife, and all this other stuff. That's cool. He has to confirm it in your spirit too. All right. Thank you. And I appreciate that question, because that is a very common question that a lot of people mess up, where they feel because they're saved, they should get with somebody just because they're saved. No, what is God telling you? And that's good. And my word to you is this, and this is for everybody. And one thing about this ministry, about what I do with LOVEWORKS, and even with our church and so forth, we fast. So my word to you is to fast and pray. The Lord will reveal it. He will show you. He will show you. I got pretty much a question on here. That happens multiple times, right? Women said, God told, so that I was their husband. Okay, got you. Is that different from saying that God said, so you're my wife? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That is, in Facebook user, whoever you are, thank you so much for that question. Yes, absolutely. That is so common within Christendom. When you go to church, listen, I have a young man who he's gotten proposed to at least 2 or 3 times by women. Good looking dude, good, nice looking dude, good head on his shoulders, going places. The problem is that women, when you start doing that, you start looking crazy. My word to you, and please take this in love. When you get around other women who are telling you that that's your husband, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. And if you have men of God, if you have women coming to you, God said, you my wife, my husband, it's not God. It's not. It's not. I'm just talking. This you, Donovan. What's up? That's what I was talking about. So what's up, D? Thank you so much, bro. Yeah, that's so. I know your story. So my brother, he used to be a part of my ministry. Come out, and women would propose to him. He would get proposed to. Yeah, yes, sir. I love you, Donovan. And you know, It's just a common thing within church where people want to sit there, and there's nothing wrong with being married. Nothing wrong with it. Wonderfully, it's wonderful that you want to get married. However, God has to confirm it in your spirit, man of God. Young lady, in your spirit too. What is God saying? You want to pray about it because this is a lifetime commitment. You better hear me. This is for like your whole life. Yeah, and if you're really serious about the word, you ain't getting no divorce. Ooh, we're gonna talk about that one night. Yeah, it, listen. The reason why people get divorced is because of their heart. They put them at their heart and hearts. They don't want to forgive. It's as simple as that. A lot of stuff. I'm not saying that pretty much it's not grounds for divorce. I'm just telling you why people do it. All right. So that is what I have for tonight. Any other questions that you may have, TikTok? I see you. I appreciate you guys. And I'm sorry for the what happened earlier. My phone was dying. I didn't realize my battery was low. I thought it was built up, but it wasn't. Sorry about that. So any other questions that you may have? Donovan, I know you had something earlier. Okay. Does it mean that the man marries down if she marries? That's a great question. That's a great question. But real talk, you know if you marry it down. Don't play. You know. Vice versa. You know if you marry it down. Yeah. Yeah. You'll know. If no other questions, I appreciate you guys. TikTok, thank you so much for showing up strong. I appreciate it. God bless y'all. Love you guys. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Hey, thank y'all. I'm having a good time over here, and I appreciate you guys. I hope you like the scenery. I'm trying to come out every night in my backyard, but my gas ran out in my fireplace. I got to do something about that. So I appreciate you guys joining me. Um, I'll be on tomorrow night, being Friday for LOVEWORKS. We're going to have another topic. And I'm enjoying myself with you guys. I appreciate you showing up strong and being a part of this. I hope that you have learned. I hope that you're growing. Please, if you have any inquiries or any questions, feel free to email me. You can send it to destinedla@gmail.com. Destinedla@gmail.com. All right. Send me an email there. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions if you need prayer. If you're, and I mean this sincerely, please understand, if you're looking to be married, if you want to be married sincerely, not play around, not just really want to get married, I want to be in agreement with you. I want to pray for you. I want to be in agreement with you. If you're already married, you want to fix the marriage that you have. You don't want another wife. You don't want another husband. Please, Father, don't contact me and say, I want to be married and you're already married. Please don't do that. I've had it. You'd be surprised. Yeah. They'll say something that the Lord told me this ain't my wife. I've known pastors to do that. Literally. This ain't my wife. And God, I made a mistake. No, no. You were saying that pretty much prior to. No. Fix it. So, in saying all of that, please email me. I'd love to hear from you. And, just continue to, for those of you who believe in prayer, please pray continuously. Got some exciting stuff that I've been working on, and I'm really excited. So I know I'm not expressing it right now because I'm tired, but I am excited. Please continue to pray for me. My name is Ricardo Arce. You have been a part of LOVEWORKS, and I appreciate you. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, and I'll see you on tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.